going to start with the nation. 2023, APC is unbeatable in Lagos, says Tinubu. Shetima Ganduje rally, Arewa community and APC presidential candidates preaches unity. Flooding are planned to avert food shortage by federal government. Road housing project contractors owed 956 billion naira, says Fashola. WHO predicts 30% rise in Africa's cancer deaths in 20 years. Federal High Court names task force on pre-election cases. Canada plans to welcome 1.4 million migrants from Nigeria and others. Afenifere drops Adebanjo as acting national leader. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Flooding. So the federal government has said yesterday that it's working out a contingency plan to avert food shortage in the country. The plan, according to the government, is to encourage farmers to produce some crops twice during the dry season. We know that the flood has been very terrible on most of the farmlands, and a lot of people who have lost produce and lands worth billions of naira. Also, about 600 lives were lost as well, and a lot of people displaced from their homes. So the presidential candidate of the APC yesterday said he was going to be donating 50 million to support with this flood victims, especially victims in Delta State. All Giant Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria also announced that they are committed to $1 million for the provision of relief materials to victims in Niger Delta. Also, 260 million was okayed by the FEC, Federal Executive Council, to reconstruct some sections of the East-West Road damaged by the floods already. But the Agriculture and Rural Development Minister, Mohammed Abubakar, said that what they are going to be doing is to use this dry season to compensate for the loss that they have had. So they are going to be producing twice more than they would normally produce. They are also going to be focusing on areas that are not, that don't have a lot of flooding to produce more there, areas that don't have a lot of insecurity issues to produce more there. He said that they've got funding from the African Development Bank. They also have some money on their own. The International Fund for Agricultural Development also just donated about $5 million US dollars as a grant to help them. And the president is insisting that we must not have food shortage in the country.
Let me talk about, go ahead.
Let me talk about Canada. Canada has laid out a very ambitious plan of getting 1.4 million migrants between 2023 to 2025 to help with their labor shortages.
Wow.
I'm wondering, where are the people in this country?
They have a target.
Anyway, they said that this is a purely economic, they are focused on their economic growth, and they need more people. And so over the years from 2023 to 2025, they gave that they will have a few numbers coming in. So in 2023, they're arranging for about 485,000, in 2024, 500,000, and so on and so forth. And I'm saying that that's a lot of migrants. I hope they know that when migrants get there, they will get married, they will have children, they have
as I was saying,
as
I mentioned in the makeup room that at the events yesterday and 2 days ago, the Adela creator Inyola was saying that many of these Western countries in the next 30 to 40 years, many of them will have an average age of over 55 years old, 45 years of age. So they need the labor. We in Africa were likely to have in Nigeria specifically, our average is likely to be 22 years.
They're not giving birth?
They're not. A lot of expenses, they're not giving birth as much as we are. Ours is going to be 22 years.
We are dishing it out.
We have lots of young people.
So we are the surrogate mother.
Yes, we are sending
going to be working for them.
Anyway, I was going to talk about the Minister of Housing and Works, Minister Raji Fashola, was giving a report to the Budget Defense of the Senate yesterday, and he was saying that the government is owing 956 billion naira, of which 191 is for housing and 765 is for the infrastructure projects. He says that housing projects right now is ongoing out of 35 states, out of 36 states, and that they have about 1,250 contractors, and they've also been able to have a direct employment of over 29,000 and 57,000 indirect employment, and they have about 6,000 housing units across the nation. Now, one of the challenges I know he has said in the past is that they built houses, but many people are not taking these houses. People have complained that the places where these houses are are probably far from where
Where they really
the
want
city is, or where there's
They have their jobs.
yeah, so it's very far, it's on the outskirts. So they're having issues of people actually taking up these houses, and that's a conversation we need to also
but if
have.
they
We
are-
need
if
to
the
move
roads are
businesses
good.
there, we need to move schools there, we need to move hospitals there. And
So-
things
It's
like
that
that.
And if the
simple.
roads are good too, they can.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really that simple. I'll take this a really sad story.
In nation?
Yes, in the nation about cancer. So the WHO has made a very sad prediction that about 30% will be having a 30% rise in cases of cancer within Africa. Said that currently every year the record is 1.1 million new cases of cancer and 700,000 people lost to cancer yearly. What are the challenges? Health sector. So we don't have enough professional oncologists. We don't have enough pathologists. We don't have enough radiation centers. We don't have medical personnel in this specific field of cancer research and treatment. Also, many of the cases are discovered late. So early detection of cancer can prevent a lot of loss of lives, but people don't get aware early. So they said lack of awareness and education, delay in diagnosis and treatment. They also mentioned that the WHO is trying to bring in some palliative care to help the situation, but it's a long-term projection of 30% increase over the next 20 years. We can actually prevent it. Survival rate in Africa is as low as 20%. Compared to developed countries that have 80% survival rates after being diagnosed with cancer. So obviously, we have a problem and we can plan ahead on how to solve it.
Ironically, one of the richest men in Nigeria is about to rent a yacht for his 60th birthday. I'm not taking the story. I'm just saying
As
that
in,
you
when we have serious problems.
Just real problems. I'm saying, ironically, one of the richest men for his 60th birthday is renting millions of euros yacht. He's renting it
In Naira,
from a Greek Aristotle something. I can't have to get the name.
So what's the issue
For
with
his-
that?
I'm just saying that we have
You can
problems.
set up a cancer
What's the
foundation.
issue?
I just said ironically.
Not work it for
I
you.
would
you know,
It's a hot
and
topic.
also
It's
money.
It's a hot topic.
Wait,
It's a hot topic.
He's doing a lot. He must not kill himself
His
for
daughter
that.
also has this foundation where she has helped so many people.
thank
She doesn't do
you.
many
Okay.
things, providing
This is
jobs.
you work the
debatable.
money for him?
It's a good topic. We
Yeah.
can discuss it. I think it's worth talking
work
about.
for you.
Back where
Let
the
us
on this table.
moving on to the punch. I'm just telling you. I think we should discuss it. The punch. EFCC arrests 87 Forex dealers in Abuja and Lagos. Ganduje begs Lagos housing communities to back Tinubu and Shatima. Ifeanyi Davido's nanny May and Cook may face charges for negligence. Oil theft, 134 ships rust as court cases drag. Katsina abduction, woman abducted while raising wedding money. Fashion says, I am Afenifere's leader. Adebanjo responds, you're joking. Flood, FG okays 506 billionaire East-West road contract. And powers Senate to grill minister over 147 billionaire projects. Okay,
Do we do the major headline?
go ahead, please.
Yes. So we know that the CBN has said they were going to redesign the naira, which will, start circulating from December 15, and that caused some sort of panic because they said they did that to be able to fish out illicit and illegal businessmen, politicians, bandits who have kept, stash of cash in their homes. Now, what has happened was that the Nigerians who had those money in their homes started going to change it to dollars using the BDCs. And yesterday in Abuja, some BDCs were closed down. They said about 87 Forex dealers were clamped down. They went in, ransacked their buildings, were searching for cash and all that. And yesterday, they moved it down to Broad Street in Lagos. They shut down about 25 legal and illegal Forex dealers in addition to the 40 arrested. They said they are doing this because they want the BDC people to be aware that most of these people who have kept illegal money will be coming to them, and that has also affected the dollar rising to 857. But after the raid yesterday, the dollar dropped to 820 naira to $1. But speaking yesterday, the Assistant Provost Association of let me get his name, Bureau de Change Operators in Zone 4, is saying that this is not a legal act, that they come into the place without any arrest or search warrants. They just go in and then they are ransacking office. However, they are not taking money from the BDCs. They are just sort of arresting the people. They've released about 25 of them. They still have 13 persons with them, and they are not releasing their phones to them. That this is illegal. They should have a conversation. If they are criminals, the government should do what it needs to do, but not stopping innocent BDC members who are just doing their businesses. They have registered with CBN, they are doing their legal businesses and all of that. However, they said they had a meeting as well yesterday with the BDC and the EFCC, and they are just telling them that every transaction they do going forward must be recorded because they will come after them.
Yes.
They are looking for bandits
100%.
who have hidden money away, and they are coming full clamp on everybody.
So the friction between Power Fashion and the Afenifere leader Adebanjo is still building, as both of them have refused to concede to each other. So Power Fashion was insisting that he's still the leader. He never resigned from Afenifere. He's saying that I didn't resign or retire from leadership. I was misunderstood. I think the best thing is to correct that. He says that Adebanjo does not have the capacity to want me or not to welcome Tinubu, that they saw how Tinubu was received, that there was nowhere where it was Peter Obi was ever in the mind. However, Adebanjo insisted that he is the leader of Afenifere, and he has endorsed Peter Obi as Afenifere's choice for the presidency, and he has taken a stand on Obi, and no other splinter or rebel group is going to start a controversy on it, that he's insisting that Peter Obi is a choice for Afenifere. Both leaders have been going back and forth at each other, and there's crisis within the organization. But if you see, I mean, based on the event that happened, many of the leaders within the Southwest came, and they also were there when Power Fashion had endorsed Tinubu. But this is really, really crazy because
it's a messy fight.
It's very
at
messy.
This time.
It's very messy that you expect that by the Southwest to be united and one on one pool, but for whatever reason. But hey, everybody has a choice.
We'll move from the Southwest to the North. The governor of Kano State was in Lagos, and
in Duji.
Yes, Abdullahi Ganduje and the running mate for Bola Tinubu, Kashim Shettima, and the governor of Lagos State went to the Hausa communities here in Lagos State in the Ojo area. And the message from the governor of Kano State is, we're here with good tidings and we have brought you good news. As far as the northern part of this country is concerned, the issue of Tinubu presidency is complete. He also goes ahead to say that Kano will get Asiwaju the most votes ever, but that he's also asking that Lagos State can beat the number. And the governor also talked about all the developments and projects that they have been doing, and how this, would be even more widespread with the presidents.
Serious story. 134 ships are rusting currently on our waterways between Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Rivers State. No, right. Port Harcourt is Rivers. Port Harcourt and Rivers are the same. There are like 3 communities that was mentioned. And the reason this 134 worry naval bases. So there are cases of oil bunkering ongoing on those 134 vessels, and the cases have been pending. 118 ships have been held for over a decade, since 2015. Yay. 118 ships have been held. In 2021, 16 were held. Some of these ships, all of these ships are laden with crude oil. Like, they caught the ships with crude oil and kept them at the naval bases. The spokesperson for Nigerian Navy was Commodore Adedotun Ayo Von, was the one that was giving this statement that these ships are rotting. Some of them are rusting. Some of them might sink, and they are carrying oil. What are the challenges? Or cases in the courts. No, they stole the fuel. They stole crude oil. So they were arrested and kept at the naval base while pending the trial. Yes. So now the trials have been ongoing, some for over a decade. Sometimes they will transfer the judge. Sometimes they will transfer the case. The cases have not been concluded, and the vessels were not forfeited. So the vessels are there. They cannot take the crude oil. They cannot touch it. It is taking space. It is rotting. The reason Nigeria Navy is even crying out now is they are arresting more. They don't know where to keep these. And the vessels are there. So it's like there is nowhere in the world. They said there's nowhere in the world this should be happening. The judiciary needs to speed up the process for prosecuting this, or just first forfeit all this so that we can at least...
We can sell and make money. This is our resources.
Or even sell the vessels for scrap. But let's forfeit.
Sell the vessels for scrap.
There are many issues there, but everywhere you look.
From the Navy?
Yes, tell us what's
but we need someone from federal government.
Yeah. Some cases are under EFCC, so the EFCC is trying some cases. So
let's just move on. Let's just move on. It's just Nigeria is very complex.
Everywhere you look, you just see another batch.
It's not that complex.
Leadership,
Vanguard. Buhari's ministers are the stolen anti-graft war, says reps. No U-turn on BVA's Buhari position stance, says presidency. Retiring article to Dubai, Oshomole Momodu disagree over Shettima's comments. 2023 court OK suit seeking to void nomination of all APC candidates. 2023 don't collude with politicians to set Nigeria ablaze, can President tells Clerics. E-Naira records 700,000 transaction valued at 8 billion naira. Rivers releases 78 billion naira for completion of projects, award of new ones. Okay, which story?
The presidency.
Okay.
Okay, I said that President Muhammadu Buhari will stand by the deployment of the bimodal voters accreditation system, that's BVAS, for credible, fair, and transparent elections in 2023. So this was said by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Femi Otedola. He disclosed this on Tuesday while he was delivering his goodwill message at the 2022 International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. The theme of the year's celebration was media, civil society, and violence-free election in Nigeria. So he was reacting to the alarm that was raised by some civil society organizations, CSOs, and the spokesperson of the Coalition of United Political Parties, Ikenga Ugochinyere, about the plan by some political actors to remove INEC's chairman, that's Mahmoud Yakubu, through the National Assembly and deactivate BVAS so that it doesn't transmit for the 2023 election. So he is saying that how many times has the president said that he's going to stand by free and fair elections? We should not believe most of these rumors because the president himself had contested about 3 times, and at the end he kept going back to the Supreme Court because they were not able to transmit the results well. And now he has trust in technology, that since technology has come, some things will be easy. So anytime you hear any rumor, that the media needs to, keep speaking to the public for them to understand that President Muhammadu Buhari is for free and fair election, and BVAS must stay in these 2023 elections.
Okay, so you mean that the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria is charging all clerics. Sorry, that's the eminence, His Eminence Archbishop Daniel Oko, and he's charging and urging all clerics to, he says, do not collude with politicians at this hour, that we're in to heat up the polity. He says, while we are passing through a turbulent period in our country, I advise all religious leaders across the country to not join politicians in overheating the polity as the country approaches the 2023 general elections. It's not the time to join. So basically, it's just saying that they should take their time to pray more for our country, and that they should be careful not to say insightful things while they're on the pulpit. Only speak when it is something that is positive and, will help the country. Let them not be seen or heard to sort of, be involved in the politics that would cause rancor and division among our people. So this is the time that they as clerics must pray, and be the... this I'm adding my own now, is that they should actually sort of be the example of how we should also, conduct ourselves, whether we have differences. Because in many churches like that, you have people with different, different parties, but we all come to these houses to worship. It would be nice to know that the cleric there is not instigating or pushing a particular agenda. Or bringing people together during this period.
Months to the end of his tenure, Governor Nyesom Wike has released 78 billion naira to be paid to contractors that are pending contractors. Said they have to complete all the buildings. They don't want to leave this tenure without any uncompleted projects. So they released that money, and they also appointed about 7,000 justices of peace to help ensure the prevalence of peace and law order. Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. PDP asked court to sack Adamu-led NWC Tinubu all APC candidates. Customs discovered 3,116 cut classes imported from Ghana inside Ogun Bush.
Really?
Aviation Union ends picketing of Lagos airports. Fake case increase in East-West road contract cost of 506 billion naira. NIS arrests 18 foreigners in Oyo for possessing PVCs. INEC to spend 356 billion naira on 2023 elections, and High Court to dispose of pre-election cases in Forex. Okay, which story?
Yes, I'll take the Nigerian Immigration Service in Oyo State said that they have arrested and repatriated 18 foreigners that were caught with PVCs. Of course, as foreigners and migrants, they're allowed to, if they have their proper documentation, allowed to come into our country and conduct their businesses, but they are not under any circumstance allowed to participate in the elections. And so for those of them who had these PVCs, they have been repatriated. And also, this was said because they want Nigerians to understand that they also believe in making sure that there's a free and fair and credible elections going forward, and they're also playing their part to make sure that this is what we get.
So there was a story that we skipped. This Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, has asked the Commissioner of Police for Osun State to grill and investigate the situation between the divisional crime officer in Odeomu, Osun State. His name is Matthew Ajayi, and his assault on a fellow colleague, the Inspector Bamidele Olorunshoga. So the lady, no, the woman assaulted Bamidele Olorunshoga, and she said that she was propositioned by Matthew Ajayi, a colleague in the office, and she said no, she's married, and the man started spreading rumors that they were dating, and she confronted the man that, we're not dating, I'm a married woman, don't say this about me, and the man, a police officer, beat up a female police officer, beat her up to the extent that he stripped her naked, took a gun and was about to shoot her until people around rescued her out of the place. And then she came back and said, if you want to kill me, like, you kill me in front of everybody because I didn't do anything wrong. Now, the picture and video went viral, and the investigation has started into what exactly was the case. Why did this happen? And I'm happy that the Commissioner of Police has already called the two of them in for questioning, and we're waiting to see how this pans out. It's totally wrong.
We need an ego peel in this country. Like an ego peel. Just something, just stick a pill to.
Yeah, when that ego
when that is jumping up, just if I do an injection.
We need to
This is
check
brutality.
it.
Yes. If somebody say no to you and then...
that ego of, listen, I have to bust over you, I must tell you, I must...
Ego, and then there's mental illness.
Oh, hey, there is even more mental illness.